Hi guys, welcome to the Arsenal Away podcast with me, Samrid, and Ashwin. Uh, as always, you can follow us on YouTube and on Twitter at the Arsenal Away. Subscribe to our channel, click the bell icon to receive regular updates for the Arsenal and Arsenal-related content from both of us Gooners. Ashwin, you and I had a late night watching the game till about 3 in the morning. I didn't get much sleep because I thought we were absolute shite yesterday. um, and I can tell just by your reactions and our conversations on the RC group that we're not happy or even remotely satisfied Gooners as of today.
I mean, I'm not even surprised anymore. You know, I've been telling you over the past three or four pods, um, we were lucky to be in the position that we were. We were
Yep.
third, and we honestly didn't deserve to be there. We're actually where we deserve to be. We're probably the fifth or sixth best team in England right now because Leicester and Chelsea are definitely better than us, and they deserve to be higher than us. I think us being 1 point behind last year's champions and being third on the table was a false dawn. It is absolutely rubbish when Aubameyang and Lacazette cannot, produce that moment of brilliance or provide that spark. Emery looks like a nothing manager. The substitutions were shocking. The lineup was shocking. It was just one of those performances that I expected. Even in the pod when we discussed saying that they're going to teams have figured us out. All we want to do is sit back, play on the counter, and teams have figured that out. Figure that out. So all they do is they attack down the middle. They come at us, and we're just weak. And you saw that yesterday. We gave them so much of the ball. Um, the amount of corners in the first half, it was like I don't know what we were doing. Why were we giving away so many corners? It's not like we're one of those teams set up to defend corners or set pieces. You
And
knew at
even on the corners, even on the corners, you had Ceballos who was just laying it off to Saka, who was very clearly had no idea what to do with the ball.
yeah, man. Like I can't even explain to you, and I'm so glad that people are finally catching on to Emery being like, okay, I don't want to call him a fraud, but he is, man. Like I've been saying this for so long that he needed 1 point from last season and he couldn't do it, and you can see that he's clearly out of his depth. Like, okay, you start off with a team. Firstly, I just want to get this out. Emery's a coward. For him to come out in the press conference and tell you things like Mesut Ozil is finally doing what I want him to do. He's finally ready. He's training well. Why say that and then not put him on the keep him on the bench? What was that? Okay, if tell us to our face, man, that okay, I don't like what Ozil is doing. I'm not going to pick him. Fine, we move on. But if you're lying to us by telling us that he's doing well, he's training well, and then you don't keep him on the bench, I mean, yesterday's game was crying out for some sort of creativity. And if you notice, the sort of football we play is just it's appalling. Like there's nothing, there's no midfield. We don't play through the middle. We try to pass the ball to the right wing or the left wing. Either Kolasinac is crossing the ball or Chambers is crossing the ball, and that's it. We have no target men in the box to play that sort of football. I mean, I don't know, man. Like I can't watch this sort of football anymore. I don't know how other people are doing it, but this is not the sort of football that we've been used to watching, right?
Just on your point on him not picking Ozil basis that he's not training hard enough or he's doing well in training. He picked Lacazette right back in the squad after him being out for a month and a half. After what one training session.
Yeah.
So where is the consistency there?
Oh, and
Um,
and also, why would you in the press conference come out and say things like Kieran Tierney is finally fit and he's ready to play, and then play Kolasinac? Like, what was that? Uh, Rob Holding has been fit for the past 4 5 weeks now. He's had so many games and you still don't play him. I don't know how to defend him anymore. I just don't.
no, I don't think there is any defense left on him because to your point, people are finally catching on. You still have people who are saying that um, Liverpool had won 1-0. Chelsea had a tough time. We lost. This is only our second game that we've lost the entire season. But that's not the point. The point remains that there is like a complete incoherence with the team that he's picking. He has no idea of what his best 11 is. There is. It just seems to me that he's just making it as he goes along. He's just making it up as he goes along. He realizes that okay, in the first half, this is the team I'm going to put out, and then suddenly midway through the first half, he realizes okay, maybe this is not the team I should have chosen. And then he just makes changes that are random. I mean, yesterday he took off Pepe, who was easily our most creative and maybe our most potent attacking threat
Yeah,
during the entire game, and brought on Martinelli for him.
yeah,
Played Oba on the left, then on the right. Played Saka as a fucking defensive midfielder.
yeah. I mean, what was shocking was when you're one goal down, you bring on Lacazette, you expect to go two strikers. He then moves Aubameyang from the center to the left wing, moves Saka from left wing to the number 10 role. Like, I don't even, I can't even explain that to you. You know, like it's nothing for me to defend him anymore. I mean, for you saying that December is a crucial period for him, you've been saying that all along. I think by the time December comes, we could probably be ninth or tenth in the league.
No, you're right. I don't see us. I don't see even a spark of improvement from anyone for that matter. How are we any better than during the last year and a half under Arsene? Or how are
Yeah.
we? I mean, I think it's the same. Or I think we're getting worse. We haven't improved defensively.
No,
We're
so the
not
thing is,
scoring more goals. He spent 200 million in for getting the players that we've always wanted. We wanted a winger. He got one. He's not. He's not playing people in their right positions. Xhaka deserves to be dropped in his current form.
Mhm,
He's not going to drop him. And right when you say Chambers has been playing really well,
mhm,
Holding has been fit. Tierney should have started yesterday. Okay, the Tierney thing, I'd still give him a benefit out because it's an away game. It's a tough game. You don't want to be making your debut against the likes of Sheffield. But I mean, do you really want to throw him in the deep end at home against Palace when we desperately need points? I mean, that too with just how the crowd is going to be now over the weekend.
yeah.
Um, or even, I mean, I understand that there is the Europa League and we're playing really well there, but the Europa League is within the Europa League because of this absolute shite form that we've had over the last 20 games.
Mhm,
There's been no improvement in any way, and this was bound to happen. I was thinking that we'd probably go through this one in December is when the real tough away games start. But
mhm.
I mean, I don't see him lasting very long, and which is why I've said that whatever decision needs to be made, be it now, be it December, whenever. I hope that this board has enough of a spine as they've had with getting rid of players, that they tell him, look, dude, it's not working out, and they give it to someone else, whoever that may be, because
See,
this is not working out.
I don't think the board are going to sack him before the end of the year. Whatever. I mean, we could probably finish 19th and get relegated, and he's not going to get sacked till the end of the year.
No,
That's
I don't know. I think I'm hoping the likes of Josh and Edu and Raul, for all that they were lauded for their good work in the summer, they they cannot not be seeing this. I mean, they cannot brush this under the carpet.
no,
This
but
is as I mean, in fact, it just feels to me this is worse than what we were under Arsene.
who? I mean, we are worse than we are under Arsene because the thing is, with Arsene, there was never a problem with the home form. We always won our home games, and Emery's done that. The problem last season, problem with the last season of Arsene was that we were rubbish going away from home, and that hasn't improved. We've I read an astonishing stat. I think we played um, how many games? We've out of a possible 72 away points that we've played for since Emery's come, we've won about 28 or 30 points. That's it. So that's like an absolute astonishing stat.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised. There was so so a colleague at work who's also an Arsenal fan. He said that he's not seeing an improvement, and at least under Arsene, we would swat these teams aside, and
Mm.
at least we knew that the four big teams will struggle against them anyways. But we knew that it was only those four teams, and we'll invariably get a result at home. But right now, I'm not seeing us get anything anywhere. I mean, I don't know where our next convincing performance is going to come, and it hasn't come from March or almost April now. And
To
I
be
don't know. I
honest,
don't get him. It's
that those first 22 games was was the absolute same. There was no difference. It was just that we were on a high, that there was a new manager, so every player basically upped their game. It was a honeymoon period that you want to talk about, And then after that, it was just again moments of brilliance. It wasn't that we were winning like 5, 6, 7 nil. I think we won one game 5-1 where we went away to Fulham and then we really demolished them. But apart from that, there was nothing in there that basically said that Unai Emery is a great manager. It was the players that were performing for him, and they seem to have not performed for him because they don't know. Because I mean, you have two lethal strikers in the Premier League in your team, and you don't supply them enough. Yesterday, I think we were messaging on the group, and I was talking about how we don't play through the middle anymore, and people said, no, no, Sheffield did enough to push us wide. And I don't think that's true. If you see, our first instinct is if either Xhaka or Luis has the ball, they look for a long ball over the top to the right wing or the left wing. And our fullbacks are overlapping, and that's all they do. There's nothing. I feel however good Guendouzi's been, I don't think you can play Xhaka and Guendouzi together because they both play in each other's space, and there's nobody controlling the midfield. We need, like, for me, like I mentioned to you, I don't think Ceballos is the number 10 because I don't think he does enough in terms of assists or enough in terms of getting in the position. I think he's more of that he can play along the number 6 or he can play the number 8 role. I mean, play along with them. But I think he needs somebody in front of him to supply the passes. And I mean, if only we had a world class number 10, you know, that would make all the difference.
No, I don't think it's just. I mean, I don't just think it's Ozil, Ashwin. I don't think even Ozil can help this guy right now
No, no, we can't.
because
Because we don't play that sort of
it's
football that will help Ozil get
no,
this
you don't, and you don't. And I was hoping that the likes of Holding once they're back and Bellerin once they're back and Tierney that they're back, there will be some change. Because I said in the last spot that I'd like to see. I think that change might just happen, but it's clear to me now the Watford game was one piece of evidence. The games towards the end of last season were more than enough evidence that he should not have stuck around. But yesterday's game, I think, was a tipping point for a lot of people
hmm
because we're not seeing any sort of progress, and we should be beating Sheffield. Yeah. I mean, if nothing else, if your target is this top four and which is a doable top four with the squad that we have and the investment that has been made, there should be there should be no reason for us not to get. And that's the whole point. He has nowhere to run now.
I don't think there's a better season or an easier season for us to do this. I mean, Tottenham have been rubbish. United are a different
Tottenham have
level
been
of.
terrible.
Yeah,
United haven't been great. Chelsea look like they can be beaten if there's a team that actually goes for it. Leicester, I think, are the only team that actually have a smart and a manager who will set up his teams to play in a particular manner.
yeah.
Rogers is smart like that. I don't think Solskjaer or Lampard are at that level right now. Pochettino, I think, just has different issues altogether.
Mm.
And you're right. This is like the season where we can actually uh, get shit done. But I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. Palace is going to be difficult. We've got Wolves then, I
You
think.
can't forget the fact that last year when we needed that win at the Emirates, Zaha has come and basically run the show at the Emirates, and that's pretty much what's going to happen again at the Emirates. If
Yeah, I mean,
Aubameyang and
he was
Lacazette,
linked. He was linked with us. He was linked with us
yeah,
this season. I don't see why he's not going to come back and make a point that look, this is what you guys missed.
yeah, of course. And he's like, okay, you guys wanted to pay 72 million for Pepe. I can show you what Pepe can't. Like he's going to want to prove his worth. It's going to be a big game for him. And the sort of team that we are, who's going to want to sit back and play on the counter attack and be the underdog, we're going to get hammered. Like I can probably expect to lose 2-1 on the weekend. It's quite a possibility.
You think we're going to score? I don't think we're going to score.
No,
Where are we going to score from?
I think we can. I think there's always a goal in us, but the fact that our defense is rubbish and the way because how as it is we're weak defensively. On top of that, he's setting up wanting to soak up the pressure or to hit them on the counter. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. So I can't like. I'm glad that a lot of people are finally seeing it. A lot of them are finally saying that okay, Emery might not be the right man. I remember a lot of people saying you need to back the manager, but back him for what? Like I don't see any reason to back him. He's not come
No,
and
he
saying
should have. He should have gone Ashwin just for that last 7 games of last season.
yeah,
He
of
shouldn't have
course.
been around. just for that reason alone.
No, and
And the
even
way we bottled the Europa League final.
no, not only that. I can understand. Okay, fine. If you have some sort of blueprint, you have some sort of plan. Like when Klopp came in, when Pep came in, they both didn't win the season in the first season, right? They both didn't win the Premier League in the first season. It took them a year. It took them some time. I mean, Klopp still hasn't won it, but you could see that there's some sort of blueprint that they wanted, right? The team wanted to play a particular type of football. What is the sort of football that we play? It's like I read a comment where somebody called us a chameleon team that we change every game, and a bad chameleon at that. So basically, it means that we're crap. We don't know what we're doing. And the amount of Emery out I saw last night on Twitter was the atmosphere at the Emirates is going to be ridiculous. People are just, I
No,
mean,
it's going to be positive. I mean, and it's I don't know if it's him. Well, it is him, but he's you started off the pod with calling him a coward. You're right. He's not someone who can who build for this club. Interestingly, so I was just on Twitter. People have said that ever since that game against Barcelona that he had when he was, I think they were leading 4-0 and lost 5-4
against PSG.
against PSG.
Yeah, yeah.
That game apparently has been is the reason why he's so defensive. Is what just completely changed his mindset um, and made him what he is. I'm not sure. I don't really have very much more insight outside of that because I haven't watched enough of PSG play under him. But it's clear that he is a stopgap arrangement. Um, I just hope that it doesn't get worse. It probably will.
Mhm.
The way things are going,
I think
I
probably has to get worse to get better. I think that's the only way it gets.
well, that's yeah. I mean, if you see, if we qualify for the Europa League again, or if we don't qualify for Europe at all,
Mhm.
do the players like a Bellerin, a Tierney, a Lacazette, Aubameyang, a Torreira, who's for what fault of his is being sidelined, I have no clue. A Leno, um, uh, or even the youngsters coming up. Well, the youngsters might not be, but what is the reason why these players will stick around? Why will they want to sign contract extensions?
Yeah. I mean,
Or even for that matter, why will even a player, even upcoming players, we're trying to get that centre half from Leipzig, Upamecano. Why the hell we want to come to a team that is struggling? I mean, we're better than United, and that just shows how terrible a state United is in currently.
I mean,
At least we've got some sort of stability or some.
Mark Goldberg put out a tweet last night saying that he was laughing at us. He said, "I know we're shit, but Arsenal is just a lighter shade of shit," and that's true. We are.
That's true. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't deny it.
I think we both have
We're
the two of us have rubbish managers. It's just that our squad is a little better because we have better firepower in the front, and that's why we are in front. Otherwise,
our squad's better. Our squad's better, and at least you've got football people
yeah,
running things.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
And that's the only good part about it. Otherwise, I'm not sure what. And he's right. We're a lighter shade of shit, and I don't see that anything changing anytime soon.
I mean, for me, it's done. Like it has to be Emery out. I can't back him anymore. Okay, we might probably go on and win our Europa League game 4-5-0 again tomorrow. He might feel the youngsters. They might play the fearless football that we are used to. But coming back to the weekend again in the Premier League, we're going to set up like a coward. We're going to set up defensively. We're going to set up, to play the underdog. And it's just going to be the same story after that. We have Liverpool the weekend after. I mean, next week, followed by then we have Wolves at home. Then we have Leicester away. So these are not easy games that are coming up. I mean, by the time we're in December, we could probably be 7th to 10th to 12th anywhere, man. Like I don't see us picking up a lot of
No, I
points.
don't. I don't know. You're right. You're right. The way we've been, I think we're playing Wolves away or inside
Mhm.
at home.
Wolves at home. I think we're playing at the Emirates.
Wolves at home.
Yeah,
Leicester away is going to be a tough game.
yeah.
We've got Everton to play away. We've got City coming up. We've got
City.
Chelsea coming up. Uh, I mean, which is why I said that December will be his defining period. I don't think it's going to last that long the way things are going, and which is why I just want this board to show that ruthlessness in bringing that change about and it's not if it happens; it's more a case of when it happens now, because
Yeah.
um, this is not sustainable. And judging by just their, um, judging by Josh Kroenke's statements in the summer, judging by Edu coming in as at the level that he's come in, Raul, who's pretty much spearheading things. Um, I I would think that they're smart enough to know that changes are required.
Well, man, I
Um,
hope for your sake, for my sake, and for our club's sake, I hope that's true, man. Like, I can't watch this guy anymore.
yeah, I agree. At least just in terms of just the pure enjoyment that I used to get of watching Arsenal,
Yeah.
um,
You look forward
that's
to
not there.
every weekend. You're like, it's football weekend, and I've not had that feeling in maybe like a year and a half since he's come. Like I watch the team because I love the Arsenal and I have to watch them. But that feeling of, oh, it's the weekend and Arsenal are playing, I just don't feel it
Yeah,
anymore.
that's yeah. That's I mean, I would my weekend would generally revolve around football, and my
Football,
commitments around family and friends would be around football.
yeah.
But now I'm like, people are like, you want to go out? I'm like, yeah, I mean, I don't give a shit anymore. It's become like that, and football was, at least my way. I'm sure it's yours well, to disconnect uh, from routine,
Routine,
and,
yeah,
and just feel
yeah,
good about watching a game that you love. I just don't give a shit anymore.
yeah, yeah. I remember a lot of. I remember there was a period when United fans were under LVG, and there was I like very close friends of mine who are very big United fans who keep telling me like, I just don't want to watch United anymore. And it's the same thing with us. At least LVG had a plan. LVG wanted to play a certain type of football. He would blood in the youngsters. He would do sort of things. I don't see Emery having a plan. It's just that every game is different. He doesn't stick with the and 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 a lot of people said Wenger was stubborn. If Emery is not stubborn, what is he? Like why is he not picking the players that are better than the players that are playing for us? Like why does Xhaka start every game? I know he's club captain, but you don't have to start him every game. Why does
I mean,
Guendouzi start every game?
we haven't had a club captain play for us for a while now. I don't see why that can't be
Yeah,
uh, again for, because the way that he's been playing, he doesn't deserve to at all get picked in the 11.
I mean, you and me can continue bashing Emery the whole night, probably the whole week. So I think it's just better we move away from Emery and let's rate the team that played last night.
Rating in terms of teams, I think we'll uh, probably give him a 4. Just give Emery a 4. Rate the team for players. I mean, they were all shit, Ashwin. I mean,
Mhm.
going player one by one. I think the only one who probably could come out with some level of self-respect is probably Chambers, because he had another good game.
Chambers had a decent game, but again, too much was expected of Chambers. I think Pepe had a really good game, even though he missed that chance, that guilty
Pepe.
chance. Yeah, but Pepe, his movement looked a little more confident. He was beating players. He was taking them on. He was
Yeah.
collecting the ball deeper.
And this was something that you and I spoke about earlier, because of, I think, his international, the way that he's played internationally, he scored away in his international break. I think that's done him a world of good.
No, and not
I
only that,
think
if you,
that
if you
definitely.
notice one thing, after we took Pepe out, which was one of the craziest decisions of the night, we had no attempts on goal. We were absolutely
Yeah,
appalling.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, the whole point. I mean, rating players. I think Chambers and probably Pepe were the ones who come out with their heads held high, because Pepe was, I think, looked like his initial best when he started for us, when he joined us rather. But outside of that, I, I'm not sure what I can give Saka a rating. Oba had no service. Laka just coming back. Ceballos was terrible. Xhaka was terrible. Um, the back four. I mean, how can you concede from that just seemed like a regular routine or right off the training pitch, and they conceded. Um, I forget who had their arms up in the air, and no one was marking the runner.
I think
Uh,
Luis lost his marker.
Luis Osel Marco, and it's a complete shit show. I mean, maybe just Pepe and Chambers come out with their heads held high. Everybody else is just not even worth giving a rating at this point.
I can't disagree with that, man.
The
I think,
only good thing about yesterday was Lundberg getting a yellow card, which showed that the man still give a shit.
yeah.
Unlike our manager, who just doesn't seem to know what he wants out of the squad. Also, so what I was reading on Twitter today, and I don't know how far this is true, but apparently he was asked a question around team selection, and he spoke about training or something to effect, or he just didn't answer the question directly correctly, which sort of implied that he's still having communication issues,
Mhm.
um, which is probably true because it takes a while to get into to learn another language.
Mhm.
Um, and I think that's probably one of the cases why we're not really doing what we want us to do. I don't think he in any ways knows what he wants or how he wants the team set out. But yeah, I think I'm done with yesterday's game. I just think it's going to get worse. What about you? Do you think it's even worth giving anybody a rating yesterday?
I think you can probably give everybody except Chambers and Pepe a 4. I think they were
Yeah,
average. There was no service to Oba. Laka came on, didn't really have much in him. There was nothing like Socrates and Luis didn't do much wrong, but they didn't. I mean, we didn't have to the way we conceded the goal. And our midfield is non-existent. Like I told you, like we come from teams where we dominate the midfield and we win the games.
yeah,
Can't have Xhaka and Guendouzi playing together. You just can't. You play Torreira, push Xhaka up a little bit, let Torreira screen the back four, and we're a different team then. I don't know. I this I'm just glad that we have a Europa League game coming up. He's going to play the youngsters. The youngsters are going to play
yeah.
fearless football.
That's at least that yeah. At least that'll be a change from this absolute shower of shit that we've been watching.
Yeah, yeah.
You're right. I think he's going to line up with youngsters anyway.
Yeah, he's gonna. I mean, if he doesn't, then this is just stupid. You can't. It's not worth risking like an Aubameyang or Lacazette and getting them injured. I mean, to be fair, he might give Lacazette a go because he needs the games, and it probably wouldn't be that bad since you're playing at home. But yeah, apart from that, I'm expecting Martinelli, Reece Nelson, Joe Willock, um, uh, Emil Smith Rowe, and those sort of players to play for us. And the thing is, they're hungry. They play some fearless football. So I wouldn't be surprised again if we go out and win 4-5-0 tomorrow and put on a show, and then everything gets better again. Then everybody goes Emery in, and we call the flip flop fans because one day we're Emery in, one day we're Emery out. But it's just going to go back to that same shitty Arsenal at the Emirates on Sunday when we play Crystal Palace.
That's our show, guys. Sorry, it's not been as cheerful is probably covering up how we've been playing so far this season. But that's our podcast for this time. Um, Follow us for more on Twitter. Click the bell icon to subscribe and get notifications on YouTube. Ashwin, this has been uh, challenging to say the least. Because you and I we've always just because of having watched Arsenal for so long and having watched them struggle. We're never the kind of people who want our manager to fail, and I don't think we want him to fail. We want him to do well, but it just doesn't seem this is working out.
I mean, I would never want Arsenal to lose, however bad
Yeah,
it gets. But if Arsenal have to lose for us to get rid of Emery, I'm all for that, man. Like I can't watch him anymore. I cannot watch him anymore. I
yeah,
cannot back him anymore.
yeah.
Like I gave him the benefit of the doubt the first season, but since the first season's over and the second season started, we have what 12 games in. I don't see us improving at all. I think it's just going to go down from here and just get worse.
Right, guys. So that's our show. We'll be back soon. Ashwin and I handles at the Arsenal Away. The Arsenal Away is our YouTube channel. Like, subscribe for more Arsenal content, and we'll see you guys soon. Thanks, Ashwin.
Thank you.